Hello students, welcome back to Clothing Con class. So today we're going to look at interfacings. So let's get right to it. What is interfacing? Interfacing is a layer of fabric that is placed between the facing and the outer fabric of a garment. Okay, so we learned about facings in the previous lesson, so you know what facings are. Now, what kinds of interfacings do we have available to choose from? So we have three kinds based on how you apply them. So it depends on your preference. You have sew-in interfacings, fusible interfacings, and combination fusible sew-in interfacing. So which one do you think is easiest for you to handle? Let's see how they're different to help you to establish that. So sew-in interfacing must be stitched by machine or hand to the garment. Fusible interfacing has a resin coating on the back of either woven or non-woven fabric. This fuses or bonds to fabric when pressed. So the resin, I like to think of the resin as glue. If ever you put glue on paper or on a substance and put something else over it, it sticks to it, right? And when the glue hardens, it's there forever and ever. We don't call resin glue, but it has the idea of what glue does in our everyday life. Okay, so that's how fusible and sew-in are different. The fusible has resin coating on it to allow the fabric to adhere to another fabric. Sew-in interfacing does not have this. Okay? Combination fusible sew-in interfacing temporarily fuses to fabric with a cool iron so that it acts like a fusible during the sewing process. When the finished garment is washed or dry cleaned, the interfacing loses its bond and becomes a sew-in. So this is for the type of sewer or designer that doesn't have the interest in sewing interfacing in place temporarily, but they do not want it to stay fused forever and ever, amen. They want to have a certain look and effect in their garment or their project. So it's going to fuse, but after you launder or wash it, that resin is going to back off your fabric and give it some space to breathe. It's going to be just resting in there, giving you some structure and shape. Okay, it's not going to adhere to your actual outer garment fabric on the wrong side. Okay, so that's how that's different. So if we were to contrast combination to fusible, combination, it does have a resin to help you adhere when you apply it, but the resin does not allow your fabrics to stay attached after laundering or dry cleaning. But for fusible, after you adhere the interfacing to your fabric, they stay together for the life of your garment, hopefully. Okay, so we have types of interfacing based on how you apply them. You also have types based on how you make them. You can purchase woven, knitted, or non-woven interfacing. They tend to have different weights. Interfacing that's woven can be medium, lightweight. Okay, we have an example of that in this black one here. This is woven interfacing. How do we know that? We're gonna put it against the light and see if we can see yarns going through it. Yes, we can. We have crosswise and lengthwise yarns. Okay, you can see these fine lines. They are your yarns. They are interlacing at 90-degree angles. Then you have non-woven. Non-woven is not knitted or woven. Okay, it's just like tissue. Think of your dryer sheets or actual like napkin, okay, hand towel. So I can tear this like it's tissue. Okay, so how is non-woven fabric made? We know that it's made through using moisture, heat, and some type of resin. Okay, this one is also non-woven. It's just thicker. You can see it's like paper, like cardboard or something. Okay, so you can identify interfacing based on how they make it or how you need to apply it or what it requires you to do to apply it to your garment. All right, so factors to consider when choosing interfacing. First thing, your interfacing should not be seen through your garment. So if I have a shirt and I'm interfacing in my shirt, I shouldn't see clear as day the shape of the interfacing or the color of it. I shouldn't notice it. That means that you have a garment flaw. It's distracting me, okay, and it's making my garment look poor, okay, not poor in a sense of wealth, but it doesn't look good, okay. So interfacing, second factor, interfacing and the fabric of the garment must be able to receive the same care. So I'm going to put that same shirt in the washing machine at medium or high heat with bleach, whatever, okay, whatever laundry aid you use. You should be able to do that as well when you apply your interfacing to the collar or the cuff or wherever you apply it, okay. This shouldn't make it drastically more challenging to launder your clothing, okay, if it wasn't in the first place, okay. So if it's making it more challenging to launder it, or if it affects the look of the garment after it's laundered, then it's not the right interfacing for your garment. You picked the wrong one, okay. Ensure the weight of the interfacing is the same weight or lighter than your fabric. So weight, you can look at this. As I manipulate it, it's moving with my hand, it's fluid, it's draping. This white one has a similar effect. It's very light. It's lighter than the black interfacing. It's gauzy. So this one is non-woven. Now this one here, is it draping or is it like a piece of paper, like cardboard or a cardstock? So this is a heavier weight. Now a weight this heavy, we wouldn't ideally use this in garments. Okay, maybe an accessory. This is a good way for an accessory. Okay, to make something look stiff, to add stiffness in a more dramatic way. So not the best for accessory creation. I mean for clothing construction. But it is okay for accessory. So we have here this lightweight